TSN and TSN Mobile TV.
Welcome back to Delaware Speedway, the Keystone Light 200 as we continue lap 144. J.R. Fitzpatrick is your leader in the Schick Hydro Chevy, being chased by the Homar Plumbing number 19 Dodge of Brad Graham, and Fitzpatrick's lead has somewhat evaporated.
Well, he was out front there having it all his own way, but Brad Graham is starting to roll in on top of his back bumper.
Or is that J.R. Fitzpatrick watching his mirror and knowing, listen, I got this field covered, maybe I can back off and save my stuff a little bit?
Well, he may be coasting a little bit, but you don't want to give up too much to those guys. You don't want to give them a shot at your bumper.
55 laps to go. As you can see the OCR gas bar ticker across the top of your screen. There's the 60 of Ron Beauchamp Jr. and the 22 of Scott Steckley battling nose to tail. And again, a single file run. Nobody really willing to try their hand up on the outside.
Well, not at all. As this racetrack cools down, you'd think it'd get a little faster, but the problem with the sidewalk, it gets a little slicker. So it becomes even more important to get, look at Kerry Mix, the tires right down in the grass, cuts across pit road and across the bump. You got to go around the bottom here at night. It gets worse.
You can see the brakes starting to glow on these cars, as well as the 19 of Brad Graham slides up the racetrack a little bit. Of course, we have to remember back to the pit stops quite a while ago now. All these cars at the front of the field didn't take tires, so that's going to start to affect the handling of these race cars.
Absolutely. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty on the next caution. They will take right side rubber.
And a little bit further to that, Billy, you got to think with a single-file racetrack, the laps are starting to tick down, and there's not a lot of laps to work your way back up. If you make a stop, you're at the back of the field, and how do you get back to the front?
Well, with fresh rubber, you will have a distinct advantage, but still, pretty tough sledding. Some of these guys are going to be thinking, boy, we haven't had as many cautions as usual. If it goes the distance, they can make it on fuel. So then it's going to be down to which crew chief has the best setup on worn-out tires.
And as the sun starts to set, you can see as well out of the front windshield of Ron Beauchamp Jr. These windshields starting to look a little bit dirtier after the 7 car of Pete Shepard put some fluid down on the racetrack, and now we've got some bumping and grinding down the backstretch, and the 23 of Jeff Lapsevich goes for a big slide.
Wow, there was contact between the 22 and the 60. That opened the door. The 23 tried to get his nose in there, and Steckley hammered the door shut, and around Lapsevich went.
And the caution flag is out as Lapsevich finds the gear. He'll stay on the lead lap. The leader's not yet coming around. But this will give those top 5 cars really a chance to come in and get their tires.
Let's have a look here. Ronnie Beauchamp gets a little wiggly getting in the corner. The 22 checks up not to hit him. The 23 and the 22 get together. And Lapsevich goes around.
Now they definitely touched wheels coming off of turn number 2, but your leader, J.R. Fitzpatrick, is down pit lane, and Todd is standing by. Todd?
This is the money stop, guys. The 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick along pit road. 2 right side tires. That car going up in the air. Smooth stop so far. A little handling adjustment in the right rear as well. All the others that need tires also taking them.
We see DJ Kennington getting his right side tires as well, but the new leader is that man, the 8 car of Don Thompson Jr.
/Twitter.
The number 8 of Don Thompson Jr. leads for the first time here in the Keystone Light 200 from Delaware Speedway. Welcome back to the 2011 NASCAR Canadian Tire Series here on TSN. We ride on board with the 82 of Dave Connolly. He'll find his spot in 15th as the 55 of Dexter Stacey, the recipient of the VTEC Free Pass as we go back to green.
Up through the gearbox one more time at Delaware Speedway. Down the backstretch, Don Thompson Jr. splays it out over top of the 60 Mopar Dodge.
Yeah, I was going to say he took advantage of that inside groove starting spot. Ron Beauchamp Jr. stuck up on the outside. 42 laps to go as you take a look at the Leland Industries ticker on the top of your screen. How about Mark Dilley in the number 9? He was a lap down at one point this afternoon.
Well, I'll tell you, the 17 Castro Dodge, that pit crew did an awesome job. They beat the 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick off of pit road, putting on them right sides.
And we're riding on board with the XI number 9 of Dilley as he works the back bumper of the 60 of Beauchamp, who is all kinds of loose.
Ronnie Beauchamp Jr. working that right rear over pretty hard, coming up off the corner.
And Billy, we saw these drivers just come in, take right side tires for the stretch run of this race. How much are they able to match the setups of the cars that were under there, or are they putting them back to the starting point of what they started with at the beginning of today's race?
Well, Dave, what you got to remember is the left side's been on there since the start, so they've grown X number of pounds, whatever that may be, 3, 5, 6, 7, or 8, whatever it is. The right sides will grow double that easily, 10, 12, 15 pounds. The crew chiefs are smart enough. They keep an eye on what the cars do in practice, and they'll reset that tire pressure somewhere in the middle, knowing that there's only 40 laps left to run.
One of those drivers who took right side tires is a 15 of Stephen Matthews.
3 wide, outside, 3 wide. Keep taking air, keep taking. Just barely inside, still in the corner. Dig, 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 dig. 3 wide again, 3 wide, so working inside.
We got the 9, the 17, and the 84. We got action.
Patience, what sort of patience, as J.R. Fitzpatrick picks up a spot. Now look at Mark Dilley in the 9 car, sliding back up on the outside. Brad Graham will take a position as well. But wow, 3 wide here at Delaware Speedway, the Keystone Light 200. And yeah, business is picking up.
Up front, a pair of very potent Mopars down the backstretch. Whoa, the 84 gets into the back of the 60. Ron Beauchamp Jr.'s Mopar.
Beauchamp seems to be just trying to hang on to a very, very loose race car. That Mopar Dodge is all kinds of crossways off almost every single corner. As now the Schick Hydro Chevy of J.R. Fitzpatrick gets a little loose going into one.
Contact between the 60 and the 84 up off of turn 2. The 84 gets sideways. The 60's going to cover the spot.
And the 15 of Matthews is in there as well, and contact.
Wow, the 84 and the 60 both go around in turn 3.
And the Mopar Dodge up against the wall. He fires it back up and grabs the gear, but no doubt that driver a little hot under the collar. Obviously, caution flag is out, and that'll slow the field. Well, we'll take another look at what happened here.
Down the backstretch, racing for the spot. The 84 just drives in and roots him out of the way.
And then the 84 himself goes for a slide and a spin, riding on board with Beauchamp.
Wow, Beauchamp contact with the outside wall of the nose, but I don't think it hurt the car that bad.
And that's from J.R. Fitzpatrick's point of view, just the back end of the Schick Hydro Chevy. He keeps it going and fires it back up, sees the caution lights out, and will rejoin the field, but this will shuffle the front of the pack.
The 23 Tim Hortons car on pit road, they've got the hood up.
Changing plans with the number 60 car, guys. They were going to stay out, but then decided to make the stop. A handling adjustment in the left rear by crew chief Mike Knott, and cleaning that windshield, Ron Beauchamp Jr. is now on the charge back up front. Back with more from Delaware in a moment.
Spark plugs, born to burn.
With the strength to maintain maximum horsepower 60% longer than Castrol Syntec.
And mobile TV, now available on Bell smartphones and tablets.
Welcome back to the Keystone Light 200 from Delaware Speedway. We're working lap 173. Don Thompson Jr. is your leader. The 23 of Jeff Lapsevich still in his pit stall as the Tim Hortons crew works on the right front steering arm. Of course, from that contact with the 22 of Scott Steckley much earlier in the race.
Well, these cars are built tough, but when you got wheel-to-wheel contact, something has to give.
And the 21 of Jason White, the recipient of the VTEC free pass. He's now in 12th as J.R. Fitzpatrick is on a charge, heading up through the field.
Wow, the 84, he's on a mission with 26 laps to go. He wants to get back to the front.
And he needs to get back up to the front. Don Thompson Jr. and Scott Steckley are top 2 in points. Thompson chasing Steckley, but J.R. Fitzpatrick inside the top 5. He needs to keep pace with those two.
Matthews overcooked turn 1, moved the 3 up out of the lane, is going to steal the spot. Mixie, if he's all kinds of loose, he's trying to fill the hole as well.
Jason Hathaway is going to drop down in front of the Beyond Digital Imaging 02 of Kerry Mix. So the Snap-on Dodge will hold on to 5th spot. Everybody still chasing, though. The Dodge Challenger, the 8th car of Don Thompson Jr.
Well, the 22 and the 17 both have fresher tires than Don Thompson Jr., but Don Thompson's got a well set up race car.
Green flag stop for Mark Dilley. Looks like a flat right front tire. Little trouble with the change, but they are making it. The 23 of Jeff Lapsovich also making another stop. They've got a steering arm bent on the right front from a problem out on track. The team changing tires and trying to move that steering arm away from the tire. It appears to be rubbing.
And that's heartbreak for that team as you saw smoke from the 55. You were right, Billy. You called it a long time ago. As the 55 of Dexter Stacy, that power plant goes up in smoke.
Wow, that puts more coolant and oil down on the racetrack, slicking over. Already a slick racetrack. We'll go on board and have a look. There's out the windshield of the NW car. You can see all the fluid all over the windshield.
And there's even more now. As a big poof of smoke in the 55 of Dexter Stacy has his good run today, squashed by an expired motor.
Racing all over the racetrack. The top 10 right there in a blanket. Things are awful close up front, the 8 and the 22.
Everybody talks about how much of a gentleman Scott Steckley is. He can taste victory here today. He's all over the back of Don Thompson Jr. Will he move him?
No, I don't think so. Very, very unusual for the 22. Whoa, contact there. Everybody's checking up. There's the 84 JR. He's trying to get underneath the Homer 19.
That is for 7th position, the 19 of Brad Graham hanging on to it, and the 84 right up underneath his back bumper. Stephen Matthews now taking a look up on the outside, and the 22 of Scott Steckley, who took a peek for the lead.
Well, in the darkness, you can see how much brake they're using here as them front rotors are just glowing orange.
And Brad Graham got a little taste of the bumper of the 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick as Fitzpatrick takes that spot away. Here comes Hathaway to the inside of the 15 of Matthews, and Matthews gets all kinds of crossways.
Wow, contact all over the place. It's root and gouge night here at Delaware Speedway.
And now Matthews is going to try and have to get back to in the line because he's up in that outside group. Mix is going to take a spot away.
See, Mix, he backed that thing in like a sprint car. He was sideways all the way into the entrance of the corner.
Matthews got lucky there, able to duck in, and the 02 goes around all by himself. The Nickies Ford of Kerry Mix goes around, and hard on the brakes was the 60 of Ron Beauchamp Jr. to avoid another caution here at Delaware. And this will set us up for a shootout to the finish in the Keystone Light 200. Your leader continues to be the 8 of Don Thompson Jr.
That grunge thing.